Welcome back to Career Build Series. This is episode number 91. And so we're here at Sawyer North. If you watched the last episode, you would have seen that took a train up from FJ up to Sawyer North here. And so let's go ahead and look at the map and see what we have for missions. So we have a green tugboat here. It's not a ton of cash. It's 4,100. We have plenty of time to do it. I thought what we'll do is we'll bring out an old friend. We'll bring out the tugboat. And we'll head around, grab the green tugboat, which is going to be then dragged up here to Spy Cakes. And one thing I want to do is I've been working on a bunch of my mining things. I'm trying to kind of fix some of the issues with the Industrial Frontier DLC. And so I'd like to go up and I'd like to do some coal mining. And so what I think we'll do is I'm trying not to teleport around. So I'll take the tugboat out. That was our first vehicle this career build series. We'll grab this green tugboat and we'll bring it up to Spy Cakes. So let's go ahead and get moving here. So it's nice to own another base here. That is always nice. So let's go ahead and grab this, spawn it, and we'll head out. So as if we remember this from the beginning, works pretty well here. I forget how long ago it was, but I did go ahead and re-gear it so that it's actually like a real tugboat now, so it has a much lower gear ratio. So it's going to be a lot slower, but it is, let's actually turn off override weather. It's a lot slower, but it is a lot better of an actual tugboat. So, you know, with the lower gear ratio, it allows me to operate at slower speeds. It also lets me pull, you know, huge quantities of mass. All right, so let's go ahead and just trying to remember how to operate this. So take me a little bit getting set up for that. So here we go. Let's power up. All right, good. So we're doing 14 knots, which isn't too bad for, you know, max speed. The benefit now is with the lower gear ratios, we can haul some actual mass. So let's go ahead and I will set up for a, let's go up here first, and then I'll put it on some time lapse here in a second. So let's go ahead, set that up. Just trying to remember how to run everything here. So autopilot master, and it's going to run to there. That still has not been slowed down. And we'll go in here, we'll do a couple of settings. So we'll turn vehicle damage back on, and then map vehicles 3D waypoints, and I think we're good. Infinite electric should come off. Beautiful. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and time lapse out, and I will see you guys when we get to the green tugboat. Alright, so we're approaching the green tugboat here, so we're going to go out on deck and I'll look for it. There it is right there. Visual on the green tug, so go ahead and I will take the autopilot off. So it didn't take too long to get out there. You know, 14 knots is not too bad for this tugboat. You know, I want it to still be able to move at a reasonable speed, but also be able to pull well. Be nice to get an actual tow mission in here. So coming up on green tug, we'll go ahead and I will time-lapse it out again, and we'll go up to Spy Cakes once we're all hooked up and underway. I haven't put on my nav lights. Let's do that. A little bit rusty with this tugboat. Nice to get back to it, though. I missed some of the builds, so it was good to get back. So we're going to want to go to the bow of it. So we'll come up here to the bow. Okay. I didn't think I had reduced the thrust that much, but I did. Might have to re-gear this some more. I'm thinking of slowing it down more and getting a better pull speed. Or getting a better pullability and a little bit more maneuverability. I think with gearing where it is, if the gearing's too high, it also is jumpy too because you're using that high RPS. So I'm just going to use one screw here to back up. That's another way to help stay slow, is just to use one screw. You know, you're essentially pulling 50% of the thrust. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll hook the anchor up. Yeah, let's see if we can't get a little screen grab here for the thumbnail. That's not a very good picture. Alright, let's jump in here. Let's go winch out. And we'll start going forward. Alright, and hopefully we can get onto this bridge quickly, and then I can put it back on autopilot. So check, let's see, let's do 50-meter rope length here, and we want to go tow light on, so there is tow light. And then if we're towing at a longer distance, it would be, do I have the long distance? I don't think I do, because the ship is not long enough. Yep. I just clicked on the AP Master, which is not what I wanted to do. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so we're heading, I'm trying to get under this bridge here. If we look at the bridge, I'm going to try to go, I don't want to take too long because I want to get right into, so let's go south, and then I'm going to cut under this bridge, then I can go AFK. You know, I kind of talked last time about how it's nice to have a good mix of vehicles that are AFK-able and that are, you know, that you really require you to sit there and be active. And so, you know, being very active with a machine can often be very rewarding and engaging. You know, it's also, you know, having an autopilot system where you can go AFK is also convenient too. You know, if you need to do some things around the house or whatever, you can still play the game, and that's kind of nice, you know. And the nice thing with a system like this is it automatically stops the ship if it's at its waypoint, and so I can go AFK and it will just stop and sit there, you know. And so that's kind of a nice thing to have a balance of those. So kind of, let's see, what's my current heading? 230, 240. So let's put in 240 here. Okay, and let's turn on, so that one just goes on if I turn on AP Master and there's a number greater than 0, so that will hold that. So kind of talking about what we're going to be planning on here. So I did a bunch of work on some of my equipment that I'm using for Industrial Frontier. You know, I've been over this a million times, I'm not going to go over it again, but there is a bunch of issues with this, with Industrial Frontier. And so one thing I've made is, I made a mineral car for the train, and it has an auger that can stick out, and it can dump the ores into the receptacle here. And so hopefully what that's going to allow me to do is, you know, gold is just not profitable. I still might do it for the funsies of it, but, you know, the other minerals, aluminum, for example, is more profitable than gold. Where going to need to get some coal if we want steel, so we can still do iron, we can still do aluminum. And so one thought is to go down here and hit aluminum and then put it on the train here and then send the train down and have the train dump into here. Now, one of the biggest oversights, in my opinion, of what they did, we should check on our progress here. Okay, we're doing well. One of the biggest oversights is this is a big train terminal, and then your next stop logically would be Screeches, and you have no way to dump it here, period, from a train. So pretty much have to move over to a truck. So one thought is, and I think what I'm going to do is this. I think I'm going to make a new vehicle that I can send down to Screeches, and maybe it'll even go on the train, and what it will be is, you know, so let's say we do aluminum. We take in, for every 1,000 units of aluminum, we get 100 of aluminum ingots that can be sold. So it's a 10 to 1. So if I bring in 10 rail cars, I end up with 1 rail car at the end. So we end up with not too much. So let's say my rail cars are 1326, I think, a piece. And then if we looked and let's say we have 5 of them. So that's 6630. So that'd be 630. So that'd be not too much. And then so one of the thoughts is use that car that I just made with the auger and then make a small little transfer truck. And maybe it'll even ride on the train. And so what we'll do is the train will pull up here. The auger will come off the side, and it will be able to fill the transfer truck, and the transfer truck will just run it off. And so it won't be that many trips. And I think that's probably a good idea. I think I'll do that. That will be the best idea, I think, to keep it really simple and effective, where I can easily do that. So let's go ahead, and we're going to want to put a waypoint here. So the next step, one of the reasons why I wanted to go up to Spy Cakes here is that this is going to allow me to start getting some coal. And I can either sell it or I can use it to make some steel, because you need iron ingots and you need coal to make steel. So that's another thought. So just kind of getting prepared here. I'd love to get back into Industrial Frontier stuff. I think, you know, I certainly can engineer some solutions around some of the problems they kind of inherently built into this. You know, it would have been better if they did it a little bit differently, but they didn't, so I can either complain about it or I can just try to do what I can do to fix it. And so I think I'm going to just try to play with it, and hopefully sometime in the future they will work on Industrial Frontier and fix it and make it better. I would really like that. So that's kind of what I'm hoping. So next step is once we get up here, you know, we'll probably get ready and try to hit a little bit of coal. Nothing. If you look here, we have 1538 coal in there, and so have the scraper. I have a couple versions of the scraper. The newest scraper, the benefit of the new scraper is it can work with the skip system. It also can still work with the auger system. And so I actually have an auger train car. And so what that would do is I built that back last career build series. So it's essentially an auger on a train car. And so what you do is you put that on a separate track next to the cars you want to fill, and the auger stays on the train, and you can back trucks up to the train and dump it in the auger, and it will then convey it up into the cars. And so that way we can use that train more. So that might be something. I can also use the skip system if I choose that. The skip system is very laborious, so if I'm in the mood for doing a lot of stuff, I could do that. If I'm not really in the mood for, you know, ultra labor, I can also do that. So that's kind of the whole thought process there. All right, make sure we're clear. We are clear. Okay, let's go ahead, and I'm going to put that on 291. And so that's our headings, 291, our bearing 2. So what I'm going to do is physically turn us to 291 first to make sure we're going to clear the bridge. And it looks like, bingo, we're not. So good to know. So what I'm actually going to do here is I want to get moving. So we're down here somewhere, so I'm going to kind of draw a line to about there maybe. Let's grab the new one. And 287. Let's see there. So we need to get around the belly of this rail in order to get there. So currently 272 is our heading. So I just want to get around the belly of this rail here, and then we'll be good. But as you can see, we're towing at 10 knots. It's not a ton of speed, but this is the speed where tugboats will tow. You know, I've watched some YouTubes of tugboats. I haven't watched them in a while, but for example, they'll haul large barges that fuel barges, and they'll pull up next to ships and they'll refuel them. And so one of the things that they you know, their tow speed is they'll either hip tow or they'll just push those, and they're only doing about 3 knots, and so this is still a reasonable speed. You know, of course, this isn't, you know, all that engaging to sit here for, you know, this is going to be an hour of transit time probably between them all, but if we look and see, that's another 33 minutes. But this is a good AFK machine. You know, me going AFK, I can go watch a show or do something around the house, and I can let this run. So go ahead, and I will time-lapse you guys out, and I will see you when we get there. Alright, so here we are, we're coming into Spy Cakes. Kind of foggy, you know, probably a little bit boring to watch the time lapses there with the fog, but it trying to give it a little bit realistic on the current conditions. So let's go ahead and roll right in here. So, you know, not a huge super duper payout, you know, but again, that's not really all my concern is to have just, you know, constantly great payouts. Sometimes it's just going to be doing the thing. So it's funny, back when I first started playing the game, I thought the green tugboat was huge, and as you can see, our small, you know, beginner tugboat is pretty much almost the same size as that. Let's go ahead and start bringing the winch in. There we go. Let's winch this in. And hopefully get a completion here soon. I didn't see a completion, but hopefully close to being completed here. Let's see. So it hasn't completed yet, as you can see. So let's bring it in right in the corner. There we go. Beautiful. Alright, so let's go ahead and we will detach. So I just pulled up and stopped, and as you can see, it will keep coming toward me. And there we go. So. Alright, nice. So this is now in there, and let's go ahead and go over to the staircase maybe, and actually try to go up. Try to do a little less the old teleport and no clippy thing. So we can go back down to regular nav lights now. I think it's up to regular nav light. Yeah, it's up. Nope. Going the wrong way. There we go. Then I'm just going to move on one screw here. Probably do is change the RPS of the engine too, so I'll probably further gear it down and then increase the RPS is probably what I'll do to end up getting this to be a little bit more realistic. That way I can rev up and still go kind of slow. I think that's going to be the best thing to get a little balance out of this. Ugh. Actually, I think I probably got to the point where I can't recall this in the workbench. So let me, in the drink again. Let's actually move this back over. It needs to be next to the workbench. So we took the effort to get over to the staircase, but, yeah, we're going to go ahead and go right over to the workbench dock. So this still needs to, you know, the reason it does that restart is, you know, when I zero it out, ooh, don't hit the dock. It's supposed to be zeroing out the clutch as well as it transitions forward and back. That way it will unload the box, but I just, I need to tune it a little bit. So a lot of these things get, you know, lost in the cracks because, you know, just doing other stuff and with other builds and miss it. Okay, it's not in the spot. So it has to be right in the zone, which is a little bit of annoyance. A little bit of a nuisance here because, you know, they could do some work with these docks. That would be very much appreciated. I know a bunch of those of us who like to use ships would like a kind of a rework of it. You know, we're starting to get to the point where there's so much rework stuff. You know, I certainly get just waiting for a new game. You know, that's kind of some of the stuff we need to kind of expect that it's going to be not until a new game because of, you know, just a bunch of stuff that needs doing. You know, like all these docks are way oversized, and really they could use like a lower dock you can attach to. Like you could do a high dock here and then a low dock right here, so you can choose which one you want to go to. You know, it's kind of annoying to put containers on everything that's like 21 feet down. But, you know, so of course there's plenty of things that could update, but also it'd be nice to see them what the new game will hold as well. All right, so to finish up the episode, we have a rescue. It's a good price. A lot of money on it, and there are 7 people. to rescue. So we're going to take my new race boat. I've decided to take the other race boat, and that's just going to be for the Vice series. And so I made this one. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit more reasonable size. It's 38 feet. And so we'll go ahead and take this out to the rescue. So hopefully everything is working with us. I had some issues and I had to fix it. So let's go ahead and get in here. So this is not as fast as the Vice boat, but it's still a good speed. So if we look at the rescue, it is pretty much due west, straight west out there. So we're just going to head on a westerly heading and see if we see it. I don't have any sort of navigation system, so. And so we're going to be slowed down a little bit by this chop, but hopefully not too bad. So heading on out there. Shouldn't take us too long to get out there. We're going to have two people standing, which hopefully that doesn't turn into disaster. Weather's gotten a little bit better. So let's go ahead, and we want to be keeping about a 270 heading. So I just hooked up the cooling system. I had worked on this, and I think I forgot to save it. I put in the cooling system and then did not. So, you know, I tried this run a couple times and had issues, and finally figured out it was the cooling system because I had thrown it in and forgot to save. And so I was like, why am I having cooling issues? And I looked, and I didn't have any sort of cooling system at all. So we have raw water cooling. You can raw water cool up to 100 degrees without any engine damage. So that was something that was changed. So the latest and greatest is you can raw water cool, which means you're taking in seawater, putting it through a jacket around the cylinders in the cylinder head, and so the seawater comes in, wraps around. The metal is hot from the engine. It takes the heat, transfers the heat from the metal to the seawater, and the seawater is ejected right out. If you're having issues cooling your boats, go raw water and just keep the temperature below 100. So for example, this system does not even come on until I think it's like 95, and I'm not 100% sure with this. I haven't tested this one yet, but it should hopefully keep it cool. As you can see, the system hasn't even kicked on yet. We should see that temp stall out probably around 95. I usually do 95. You can keep it within 1 degree, but if you accidentally go over, guess what? You're gonna, you can see it's going down. See how it goes 96, and now it goes up, and now it's gonna go down again. And so that is cooling us. So it's actually going up just a hair now, so I probably have to pull back just a little bit. So I haven't tested this yet, so I'm just going to pull my engines back just a hair. I want to keep this from going over 100. Because I have a system in there to protect the engines, it will automatically throttle down if I go over, I believe it's 100, so that I don't damage the engines. So as you can see, we're just holding at 95. We're still doing 64. Weather's getting a little bit worse here. So fix the game really quick. Stand by. So that will protect the engine. So I pulled back the thrust just a little bit here to maintain around 95. You know, you can keep it within 1, but my whole thought process is if it kicks up over into 100, it's a brick wall where you're going to start causing damage. We are way to the south where we want to be. And the fog is starting to set in here, so I will use the map a little bit to cheat if I need to, just because, you know, it's an omission. I didn't put in any sort of navigation system, so I'll put the bearing system in, but I want to make it the same in this series of boat. You notice the dash is the same in the catamaran and the cargo catamaran. It's the same in the Vice boat, so I want to get that system integrated, and then I'll put it through all of the models that use that panel system. I'm trying to make a standardized panel for boats like this. You know, I still have azipods and stuff like that. I need to do a little bit more custom, but this gets me a head start making some modules. So I'm still south. Turn, turn, turn. Go north for a little bit. There we go. We don't need to go that far. Maybe like a 290. Because we were going southerly for a little while, so I'm trying to catch back up and go westerly. Alright, so as you can see, that's about perfect. That's bringing us right back on the money. So nice. So good guess on my part. You know, we were about 20 degrees for a little while. I decided to cut down to 10 degree correction angle in there. to fix it. The wind is going to naturally want to weather vane us. It's going to naturally want to put us going with the wind. So as you can see, the waves are going this way. That's the direction of the wind. And so we're cutting across. We can cut across faster this way. As you can see, we're maintaining good temp now. So pulling that thrust back a little bit is keeping us under temp. So that cooling system's pretty close to being effective. I might have to just double it up. If I double it up, it'll be ice cold. I can run it at max throttle and should have no problem. So I do like doing liquid heat exchangers for cooling in my boats, but raw water is kind of just working better right now. I wish they would, I would say buff the cooling. You know, I would say buff the cooling. All it's, you know, the cooling and the overheating of engines is important. I still think the engines should overheat with no cooling, but it shouldn't be taking up a huge portion of your vessel to be able to do it. And I'm not a huge fan of the notion that, you know, you see a lot of people, all they ever use is the electric radiators, and I, as a contrarian, I tend not to use the electric radiators just out of spite. No, I use electric radiators where you would use electric radiators. So, for example, in cars, modern cars, you'd have electric radiators, so I'll use them there. In airplanes, very rarely would you have an electric radiator. The airplanes, they have an overabundance of cold, fast-moving air, and so often they are liquid-cooled or air-cooled, you know, so you wouldn't need that system to do it, and so you would, the old-school radiator is kind of a more passive system, so I'll tend to use that. I would like some more air cooling. Let's see. So the fog's setting in. You know what I'm going to do? We've had enough fog this episode. There it is. We've had plenty of fog this episode. You know, I don't like to hang in the fog forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. You know, same thing as why I try to 1/10 of the episodes in at nighttime, is it makes it hard for people to see, and you know, makes it gloomy for me as well. So here we are arriving. So this is nice and fast. Still has some stability issues that need to be addressed, but not bad. So we're starting to throttle back here. And I'm trying not to run over the populace here, so we'll try not to bang. Thrust is zeroed. Let's coast in. I want to go to the right. I want to go to starboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just come up on port. And you'll see that will naturally bring us slowly ahead. We're only using 50% of our engines. Plus, it will naturally push us to the starboard. Oh, that's not helpful. Oh, don't fall off. Okay. Let's get the people who are not incapacitated. Oh, getting here late, apparently. They're all incapacitated? Get out of here, dude. So these people are probably deadzo. These people are all probably fish food. I don't know. This mission wasn't up that long. You know, but whatever. You know, it is, when it's windy like this, sometimes the people will deteriorate much quicker because, you know, they're actually drowning. Oh, hi, people. So all the survivors are under decks, and the dead people are above decks. So that's probably, my hunch is probably correct, is that it... Get in the seat. My hunch is probably correct that they drowned. You know, as the water kept coming up over their face, they drowned, and then they expired, or became incapacitated, which I don't think I have any sort of gear on here, so a bunch of these people are going to die, whatever. A little callous, but they are just mannequins. So I'm not really too worried about it. Oh, hey there, guy. What are you doing down there? Get up in there. Get that parkour. Get that parkour. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Jump, 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 jump. Get antsy when it's taking forever. All right, let's take a quick screen grab here. Screenshot, whatever you want to call it. So that is a weirdly large vessel, this boat. I think it's old too. All right, what's we talking? 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is in the drink over there. I think 7 was the magic number. So let's check again. They didn't build their stairs very well, so come on, come on. There we go. We'll just do the seat swap trick because they didn't build their stairs very well where you can actually get out of the hole in rough weather. So let's go ahead back down to the front, see if we, to the bow, under, okay, so here is, what number were we at, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stay in the boat, please. And so we're looking for 2. Oh, come on. Don't fall in the drink. I've been, like, tapping the jump key 3 times, and it was doing nothing. Oh, my God. I'm going to lose my mind here if you don't just jump in the boat. At some point, I'm going to do a video on what I would like to see in the next game. I know some people prematurely did that when a little earlier. I think I'll do it at some point. Kind of, you know, it's a good time to do it. Oh, hello. That's 6, and then 7's in the water. Okay, so 7 is out in the water as another incapacitated person. I'm leaving that open. I want to... Where the hell did my boat go? I want that boat to sink, so... It will eventually despawn when we probably get far enough away. Can I get you in the padded seat? I can. Okay, and then we need to grab this ding-dong here. And then we're going to get out of here. The incapacitated people are probably gonzo because the likelihood that we get them to a defib in 5 minutes is exceedingly slim. So let's just dump you on the floor. Okay, let's get getting here. So I'm actually going to come up just on starboard. That's going to push me off to the left. No steering required, as you can see. All right, so a little bit of boatmanship there is helpful. A little seamanship is helpful to be able to understand how to maneuver your boats. And we're going to head easterly. Pretty simple there. Of course, with the fog kicking in, you know, it's would have been hard to navigate, but we're going. Hopefully, you know, if we lose some incapacitated people, they're not going to live anyway. So I'm not overly concerned about it. This boat's a little bit more in the spray. You know, this one gets a little bit of the fake waterlogging. Again, it wouldn't be waterlogged IRL, but in-game it gets that way. So I'm going to go ahead and I will time-lapse you guys up, and I'll see you when I get there. So we're starting to arrive here. One nice thing is having this digital screen. I can stay in third person and I can still see our heading. So that's kind of nice, and I can check if I need to turn. As you can see, we're coming through the fog now there. And this is the main island of Donk. And so we have a couple options here. Let's see. Initially I was going to transfer them to a car and then head up, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we'll go to the north side and then we'll go right here. Yeah, I think that's going to be the best bet. So let's head to the north side. So I brought the thrust back a little bit. I do need to put in a little bit more robust of a cooling system. I didn't know if I was going to need 1 or 2 loops. I stuck in 1 loop. It's going to end up needing to be 2 loops, which isn't excessive. That's not too bad. That's what I had to put in the Vice Boat. Vice Boat has much bigger engines. One of the reasons why I decided to build this was I wanted a more manageable size and also less of a fuel burn. This is incredibly cheap. This is 12 grand, this boat. And you can see we can do quite a bit with this. It is leaning because there's something up with the stability system. I need to fix it. And so it's this side, as you can see, is coming up. So I screwed something up with that. That is what's tipping us. That's why we're kind of canted. So I need to fix that. But you know, so this is still working really well to get what we need done completed. So this here is a diesel cell point right there. That is going to be good for the train. When I built the cart system where we can move fluids with the train, this was in mind, so that should, with the 2 huge winches, that will allow us to get there, hopefully, so we can sell some diesel from the train. It would also be kind of cool, park the train there, go get a truck and ferry, but, you know, realistically, if you were going to be selling fuel there, they would have a pipeline, but they don't. So that's another thing we could do is bring some diesel there via train sometime. You know, barge is still pretty, you know, the train takes quite a while to get up here. The train goes, you know, 70 miles an hour, but it's very windy, and so, again, you know, I'm not always looking for what's the fastest or the most revenue per hour. I kind of want to do what I want to do, and so, you know, sometime when I'm feeling it, we'll take the train and we can trade some diesel. Alright, so coming up under the tracks here, and I'm going to follow this. We're getting reasonably close. It is, this one here is where we're headed. It's after Chemical Island, so we'll head there and then dump all these people off. 2 have died already, so they're fish food. They're going to go in the drinking poo here, and well, maybe we'll bring them to the hospital. It would be nice. But that mission wasn't really up very long. I think it was just the heavy seas. They drowned. They were the people that were in the water or on the deck that drowned. So that was likely what happened to them. So let's throw a wreath in the water and be done with them. But looking forward to getting some mineral stuff. I've been trying to make a bunch of things to try to get the mineral stuff working for me, and so eventually, probably when we get back to arid biome, we'll do it. I was going to do some coal, but I think it's going to be better just to try to start banging out some aluminum. I have to kind of look into the mineral storage at the bases. I have mineral storage enabled, and I've tried it before, and it wasn't working, so I have to try it again and see if I can get it to work. Maybe it's only allowing you to do ingots. I don't know. I have to do some testing with it and figure out about that. But I was having issues storing it. So, you know, one of the benefits of storing in the base, you know, I put out a feature request in the official bug tracker. It's in the description of the video. It's pretty much the description of most of my videos now. So if you check that out, the feature request is currently you can store diesel, coal, and jet fuel in the bases. And that makes sense. That's what we're powering our vehicles with. It would also be nice to store oil there, so we could bring, for example, if I tanker oil from the pumping station, I have to then launch the barge and pump it from my truck or the train or whatever I bring it in on, and put it directly in the barge. What this would allow me to do is then, you know, I wouldn't have to transfer it. You just despawn it, and it would go in the base, and then, oh, this is where I want to be right here. So it's 0, and then I'm going to come up on, I probably stalled out my starboard engine. I stalled out the starboard here. Let's get, all right. Why is starboard not going reverse? Who knows? All right, we're just going to go right here. Are you one of the deceased people? Or did I pick up a proper okay, well, I picked it. Right. See ya. Come on, get. Oh, I'm wet. So I have to figure out what's up with this craft listing something awful. Are you deceased? You are. Ah. Sharks need to eat something. Alright, and oh, I picked up one of their beacons. Take it easy, okay? Take it easy. Are you following me? You are. Okay, stop that, please. Right, you. I like your yellow shoes there, madame. This one's barefoot. Oh. So we're losing a little money with these deceased people, but couldn't do much about that. Like I said, the mission popped up fast, and I went pretty quick to it, and it was just sometimes that the way it be. I have a couple of their silly beacons. Okay, right. I need you people to behave yourself as we travel here. Trying not to have any more deceased people. Just casualties, no deceased. Y'all with me still? There we go. Jumpy, 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 jumpy. Alright, let's get up going. Let's take a pic of these wonderful people that I've actually been able to save here. Alright. Bingo. Alright, let's get getting here, and let's get rid of these people. This will finish up the episode. So that was a fun episode. Nice to do a couple things, get a tow mission in. That tugboat needs some work. Everything needs work always, pretty much. You know, oh, there's loot right there. Bingo. Make a little extra cash. Could use the cash. I want to get into, especially building a new base for ourselves at some point. Bang. 8,500. All right, this one is not following me now. Okay, come on, come on, come on. People, people, people. In here, please. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. All right, nice. So, there we go. No, 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 no. Thank you, stay. All right, good. So there's some cash money, dollar bills. So we're up around 300K. So sounds like a lot. It's not, you know, a little amount of money, but it definitely, there's a lot of things that, ooh, there's another one doing. I thought there might be one in here. That's why I checked. Do we go for 3? You know, so there's a lot of things to spend money on. And I think that's one of the ways to fight boredom is, you know, have some goals. Oh, come on. I'm stuck. Again, this right here would be Frustration City. Right here. Look at this. I'm stuck. Can't move. No clip. Fixed. And that's why I tell everybody, put a creative menu even on a career game. You can choose to use it or not. You can lock it out. If I go like this, if I lock out no clip, then I very deliberately have to go back in there to turn it on. So if I'm actively trying not to no clip everywhere, I can shut it off. But if you get stuck, what are you going to do? You know, you now have to roll back a save, and it's just frustration. And you have been stuck because of something that was not your fault. And so it's not really cheating if you're just fixing something that's kind of an error with the game. Alright, so reverse is working. It just didn't like me trying to switch gears as I was moving. So that's another reason why I just say turn on creative menu. It just makes life a lot easier. It's not really, you know, there's no cheating, especially in a single player game. You know, that notion is kind of silly to me. You know, I'm a big you know, person against cheating, you know, in competitive games like Escape from Tarkov. I'm so annoyed with cheaters, it drives me nuts. But, you know, if you're playing multiplayer, yeah, you can say there's issues with cheating, but, you know, when you play single player, it's not really cheating, it's overcoming issues with the game, and, you know, you think about how many times you accidentally get stuck in something, or a normal human being would be able to grab onto the side and climb in, and you can't do that because of some game mechanic, and it would just cause you to be frustrated. And so by quickly pressing no clip, you're able to extricate yourself from these situations. So big advocate for it. I think people should put that in the game. But hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. Get some different gameplay in here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.